Okay, today we're going to be creating a reading interactive notebook. So for today, you will need to have one of these QR codes. There's a copy for everyone, so you're going to need one of these. You're also going to need one paper that looks like this. Those will be able to be found up on the whiteboard right next to the interactive notebook sign and right by the piece of wood. It'll kind of be pinned up there on that. So you need one of each of those. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a glue stick, and you're also going to need something to write with. Okay, once you have all these supplies, then I want you to come back to the video. On our first page, our first fresh page, this is a brand new notebook for me, but for you guys, you already have things on some of your pages. So yours won't look exactly like mine, but you're going to turn to your next fresh page right here. And we're going to glue this in here. And we're also going to glue in our QR code. We want our QR code, don't have it covered up, otherwise it won't work. We do want it showing, and then this can overlap the white part of it a little bit. So you're going to glue that in there. I'm going to put the camera down while I go ahead and do that. With this, you are going to need, that's why you need your scissors. You cut around the outside of that paper. Right there. You cut off that outer edge. Alright, so now I'm going to glue it. There's my QR code. I'm also going to glue in my story plot paper. And I want this sideways. It won't fit on my paper if I try and do it this long way. So I'm going to glue that on there so that it fits just perfectly. All right. Now that that's all in there, we need to write some things right here. I want you to write the date that this is completed on. I'm not going to put the date on this one because I'm not sure when you're going to be completing it. It might be November 9th or 10th. It also might be October sometime if you're completing this. So whatever the current date is. And since this is your reading notebook, you also don't need your name on this at all. But we are just going to put the date on there. Okay. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pause this video because you're going to want to use your QR code scanner, your QR reader, and scan this barcode right here, this QR code. It's going to take you to a video of a book. It's going to read Goldilocks and the Three Bears to you. So you're going to want to pause this video and then turn on your QR code reader so that you can scan this barcode or this code and watch that whole video. I think it's going to take you 7 minutes, maybe 7.5 minutes to watch that video. So pause this video first and then get to work on that. And come back to the video, this video, when you are finished watching. Okay. All right. Now that you're back, I hope that you really enjoyed that video. We're going to be filling in this chart according to what we learned or what we heard from the story. So we know that the title of the story was Goldilocks and the Three Bears. The author of this book was not given. So we're going to put in not given right there. Okay. When we are talking about the exposition and the inciting incident, we're talking about what happened in the very beginning. These are big words, but they just mean what happened in the very beginning to create this rising action to where we get up here to our climax area. So the inciting incident of Goldilocks and the Three Bears was that Goldilocks finds a house and decides to go in it. Okay, if I'm moving too fast for you, you're going to need to pause the video and then restart it when you're ready. Okay, the setting of this book is in the woods, or this storyline is in the woods, and the time is not really given, but we do know that it is sometime in the past. It's not in the future, and it's not in the current time. And we have our main characters, of course, as Goldilocks. And we also have the Three Bears. I could be more specific on this and put Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. But for right now, I'm just going to put Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Okay, our point of view, that's who's telling the story. And this story is being told by what we call a narrator. Someone who is not part of the story. It's not told by Goldilocks. It's not told by any of the Three Bears. It's told by someone outside of the story, or a narrator. Okay, some of our rising actions, some things that happen before we get to that main part of the story, or that climax, is that Goldilocks eats baby's porridge, breaks baby's chair, and falls asleep. In baby's bed. And then the next thing that happens is that the bears return home to find that someone has been there. Okay, those are all things that happen before we get up to this climax, or this main part of the story, what really happens. So the main part of the story and the main climax or point in the story is that the bears discover Goldilocks and she wakes up. All right, so Goldilocks is discovered by the bears and she wakes up, and then the following action, what gets us really quickly to our ending of this story. She immediately screams and runs out of the house. Guys, I realize I'm busy over here creating this video. Does that mean that you get to talk? Does that mean that you need to chat with each other? Are there any of these activities that we need to do during leap time that require us to talk to each other? I've whistled 2 times. Now you're interrupting this video and it's still running. So when you listen to it on Thursday or Friday, You're going to hear this, and I didn't really want that to happen. That's why I was whistling at you guys to get you to stop talking. I shouldn't have to say that. Should I?
No.
Fernie, if you can't keep your mouth zipped, you must move to a new spot. Thank you. All right, so our following action was that Goldilocks screams and runs out of the house. And then immediately the resolution is that Goldilocks, or the solution of this story, is that Goldilocks never returns to the cabin again. She's been scared away. On this part, this conflict, blank versus blank, it's Goldilocks versus the three bears. Who is that conflict against? And we have, in this story, we have our protagonist, and we also have our antagonist. Or you might think of this as your antagonist, and this one as your protagonists. But either way, these two forces, these two characters are going against each other. Okay. So when you get this made, you'll have your QR code scanner here. You will have all of this filled out, and then you will be done with this activity. Okay. Thank you for watching.